Assalamualaikum everyone. This is me Shamin Arif AI Wali.
Hey, I'm here and ready to help. What's on your mind today?
What does happiness really mean from a scientific perspective?
That's such a rich question. From a scientific perspective, happiness is often viewed as a combination of emotional experiences, life satisfaction, and a sense of purpose. Researchers often look at factors like positive emotions, social connection, of course. So, along with positive emotions and relationships, scientists also tie happiness to things like purpose, autonomy, and even physical health. It's this whole interplay of mind and body, and it can differ a bit from person to person, but there's a pretty solid science base behind it.
How do define happiness and is it different from pleasure?
Yeah, that's a really important distinction. Pleasure is often a more immediate, short term feeling, like a burst of joy from a good snack or a fun activity, while happiness tends to be more lasting, rooted in a sense of meaning or fulfillment. So you can think of pleasure as a component, but happiness is a bigger, deeper state.
What are the main factors that contribute to long-term happiness?
Yeah, great question. So, research points to a few big ones: strong social connections, a sense of purpose or meaning in life, gratitude practices, a healthy lifestyle, and even things like financial security up to a certain point. It's this mix of internal mindset and external conditions that really sustain long term happiness.
Can happiness be learned or is it something we are born with?
It's a bit of both. Research suggests we have a baseline. Some part of our happiness is influenced by genetics, but a huge portion is shaped by our experiences, behaviors, and choices. So we can absolutely cultivate happiness over time, even if we start with different baselines.
Okay. How much of our happiness influenced by genetics varies our daily choice?
Exactly. Our genetics do give us a kind of happiness set point. So we might have a natural baseline, but daily habits, like how we frame our thoughts, how much we connect with others, what we do for work, can push us up or down from that baseline. So it's a dynamic balance.
Okay. What role does the brain play in creating feeling of happiness?
Ooh, got it. So the brain plays a huge role. For example, structures like the prefrontal cortex help us regulate emotions, and neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin are key to feelings of reward and pleasure. Over time, our brain pathways can adapt and shape how we experience happiness, which is why small daily changes can make a big difference.
How does practicing gratitude improve our mental and emotional well-being?
Absolutely. Gratitude is really powerful. Studies show that when we regularly reflect on what we're thankful for, it can boost our mood, reduce stress, and even improve sleep. It basically trains the brain to focus more on the positive, which lifts overall well being.
Okay. Why do acts of kindness increase our happiness?
Yeah, for sure. And it's one of those simple practices that anyone can try. Even just jotting down a few things you're grateful for each day can start to shift your perspective and make a real impact on your emotional resilience.
Okay. Next, how does helping other improve your own mental well-being?
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of research showing that acts of kindness and helping others can boost our own happiness. It triggers feel good chemicals in the brain like oxytocin and dopamine, so it really creates a positive feedback loop. Plus, it gives us a sense of purpose and connection.
Okay. Why is self-acceptance essential for happiness?
Yeah, self acceptance is really foundational because when we accept ourselves, flaws and all, we reduce that inner self criticism, which eases stress and lets us be more authentic. It also helps us pursue growth from a place of compassion rather than fear or comparison.
Why is self-acceptance essential for happiness? Why?
Yeah, exactly. It kind of acts like a stable foundation. When we accept ourselves, we can handle setbacks better, set realistic goals, and ultimately feel more balanced. So, self acceptance really is a key stepping stone on that happiness journey.
Okay. How can setting meaningful goals contribute to a happy life?
Yeah, absolutely. Meaningful goals give us a sense of direction and purpose, which is really key for long term happiness. When we align our actions with values that matter to us, we feel more fulfilled, even if the journey is a bit challenging.
Okay. What daily habits can people
Yeah,
practice to
that's a really good
cultivate joy
question.
and
I think a big
positivity?
Absolutely. Cultivating joy often involves being mindful of small moments, like savoring everyday experiences, nurturing gratitude, and building strong relationships. It's really about being present and creating space for those positive feelings to grow.
How does forgiveness contribute to emotional peace and happiness?
Yeah, forgiveness is really transformative. When we let go of grudges or resentment, it frees up a lot of mental and emotional energy. It reduces stress, increases compassion, and allows us to move forward with a lighter, more peaceful mindset, which really supports happiness.
Can happiness improve physical health? If so, how?
Yeah, it really does. When we let go of grudges and stress, it lowers things like blood pressure, reduces inflammation, and even improves sleep. So, that emotional peace we get from forgiveness can have a really positive ripple effect on our physical well being, too.
Okay. How does focus on the present moment help us experience greater happiness?
Oh, for sure. When we stay present, we're not getting caught up in regrets or anxieties about the future. We can fully appreciate simple joys like a conversation, a good meal, and that awareness really opens the door to gratitude and those everyday pockets of happiness.
Okay. What is the difference between short term pleasure and long term fulfillment?
Yeah, so short-term pleasure is more like a quick burst, something that feels good in the moment, but it fades fast. Long-term joy, on the other hand, is deeper and more sustainable. It's tied to things like purpose, relationships, and personal growth, so it sticks with us and can create lasting happiness.
How do optimism and a positive mindset influence our mental and emotional well being?
Yeah, optimism is really powerful. When we have a positive mindset, we tend to interpret challenges as temporary and solvable, which reduces stress and increases resilience. That mindset also boosts motivation, helping us take proactive steps, which in turn reinforces our overall mental and emotional well being.
What role does resilience play in maintaining happiness during life challenges?
Yeah, resilience is really key. When we build resilience, we get better at bouncing back from setbacks, adapting to new circumstances, and staying anchored in our values even when things get tough. So, even through big changes or challenges, resilience helps us keep that happiness steady and sustainable.
How can people overcome negative thinking pattern and develop a happier outlook on life?
Yeah, absolutely. It takes practice, but people can definitely shift their thinking. Techniques like cognitive behavioral strategies, mindfulness, and even small daily gratitude practices can rewire those patterns. Over time, they become more automatic, and people can develop a much brighter outlook.
What impact do healthy relationship and strong social connection have on happiness?
Oh, they have a huge impact. Healthy relationships give us a sense of belonging, support, and security. And that social support acts like a buffer against stress, which boosts happiness and overall life satisfaction. So the stronger our connections, the happier we tend to be.
Okay. How can parents and teachers help children develop habits that lead to lifelong happiness?
Yeah, of course. Parents and teachers can model positive habits, things like expressing gratitude, practicing self care, and setting realistic goals. By creating a safe, supportive environment and encouraging small daily choices, they help kids build those long term habits that foster happiness and well being.
Okay. What are some common habits that quickly rise, reduce happiness, and how can people replace them with healthier ones?
Yeah, definitely. Habits like constant screen time, negative self talk, or procrastination can really drain happiness. To replace them, people can build small positive routines, like daily exercise, mindful breathing, or setting achievable goals. Over time, these healthier habits kind of crowd out the old ones and create a more positive daily rhythm.
In today's fast-paced world, what practically daily routine can people follow to cultivate lasting journey inner peace?
Yeah, absolutely. It can be something like starting the day with a short gratitude practice, taking a brief walk or stretch, setting one or two small goals for the day, and reflecting in the evening, maybe with a journal. When you build these micro habits consistently, they create a kind of anchor that keeps you grounded and growing in a positive direction.
Okay. Looking ahead, how do you think scientific research on happiness will shape education, workplace, healthcare, and society in the future?
Ooh, that's a big one. I think as we learn more, we'll see it become more integrated, like in schools, where fostering well being might become part of the curriculum, in workplaces, where positive environments boost productivity, and in healthcare, where holistic care focuses on mental as well as physical health.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad we got to explore all this. If you ever want to dive deeper or talk about something else,